It has happened to you. Maybe it was this week. Maybe it was an hour ago. Maybe it is happening a little right now, just from you remembering it. You were standing in front of other people, and something went wrong. You said the wrong name out loud. You tripped on a floor that was perfectly flat. You were caught in a small lie, or caught looking when you should not have been looking, or someone turned to the whole room and said something kind about you while everyone watched to see what you would do. And before you could arrange your face, before you had thought a single thought about how to handle it, a heat came climbing up your neck. It spread into your cheeks. Your ears went hot as coals, and you knew with a sick and certain dread that you had gone red, that every person there could see it, that your own face had just told the entire room exactly how you felt and had not once asked your permission to do it. And here is the cruel part. There was nothing you could do to stop it. You could not think it away. You could not hold it down by wanting to. The harder you willed the redness to fade, the hotter it burned, because now you were going red about the fact that you were going red. You wanted the ground to crack open and swallow you whole, and all you could do was stand there and wear it. This bright, helpless flag your body had run up the pole without you. You blushed, and you were not alone in it, not by a long shot. That same helpless red rises in every human on earth. A person on the far side of the world who does not share one word of your language goes red at their own small shame. A child too young to explain it goes red. It climbs the same neck, warms the same ears, floods the same cheeks, on every human who has ever lived and been caught in the eyes of others. You did not learn to do it. Nobody sat you down and taught you the trick of it. It came with you, the way it came with every one of us, part of the body you were handed the day you were born. I am Og. The fire is low tonight, and the whole tribe is asleep behind me, so it is just you and me, and this one strange thing your body does when it is caught. And I want to tell you about the night I finally understood there was nothing shameful in it at all, though I had spent half my life certain there was. Long, long after my time, a careful man is going to sit down and study this very thing. His name is Charles Darwin, and in a book he writes about the faces that people and animals make. He gives a whole long chapter to nothing but the blush. And he calls it, and I want you to hear his exact words, because they stopped me cold when I first heard them. He calls blushing the most peculiar and the most human of all expressions. The most human. Of everything your face can do, of every look it can wear, the one he singled out as the most human of all was the very one you would give anything to be rid of. And he noticed a thing you have likely never once thought about. Every beast I ever hunted, and every beast that ever hunted me, not a single one of them blushes. A wolf does not go red with shame. A deer does not flush pink when it is caught in the open. You can frighten an animal, you can anger it, you can shame a beast until it slinks low and hides its head, but its face does not fill up with blood for the crime of being looked at. Only yours does, only ours. In all the long roll of living things that crawl and swim and run across this world, the blush belongs to us alone. Now sit for a moment with how strange that is. Of all the things a body could keep for itself as its one private trick, we kept the power to betray ourselves, to hang out our own guilt like washing on a line, to go bright and helpless and red at the very worst moment, in front of the very people we most wanted to stand tall before. If you were building a creature to survive, to win, to get ahead of the others, why in the world would you build it a face that turns traitor the instant it matters most? You think your blush is a weakness, a flaw, a leak in the wall, a thing that gives you away just when you most need to hold steady and give nothing. And tonight I am going to show you that it is the exact opposite of a weakness. That the blush you hate is one of the most valuable things you own. That it is not a lake in your wall at all, but a gift you hand to every person who sees it. And that the reason you still carry it, the reason it came all the way down the long line to the face you are wearing right now, is that going red at the right moment did not get your ancestors thrown out of the fire circle. It got them believed, it got them forgiven, it got them kept. So let me show you what a blush truly is underneath the shame of it. All over your body, just below the skin, run countless tiny roads for your blood, thread thin and everywhere at once. Most of them you have a little slow, roundabout say over. But the little roads in your face, in your cheeks and your ears and the front of your throat, answer to a different master entirely. They answer to the fast old part of you, the part that runs the fear and the heat and the sudden feeling, the part that acts long before it thinks to ask you anything. And when you are caught, truly caught, seen, laid bare in front of others, that fast old part throws those little face roads wide open all at once, and your blood comes rushing up into the thin skin of your face, and it shows. That is the whole of it. The redness you hate is nothing but your own blood, called up to the surface of your face by a feeling quicker than any thought you could have. And here is the single idea I want you to carry out of tonight, so hold still for it. A blush is a signal you cannot fake and cannot stop. Think of everything else a face can do. A smile you can fake. Tears you can force out if you truly work at it. Words, of course, are the cheapest thing of all because the tongue will happily say anything you please. Every one of those signals you can make on purpose, which means every one of them is a signal you can also lie with. But the blush is a different animal. You cannot decide to blush. Go on, try it. Sitting right there, try to turn your own face red just by wanting it to. You cannot do it. And once one has started, you cannot call it back either. It comes when it comes, and it leaves when it leaves, and your will does not get a single vote in the matter. And that, the fact that you cannot control it, is not the flaw in it. That is the entire point of it, because a signal is only worth anything at all if it is hard to fake. If I could roar like a great cave bear any time I pleased, my roar would frighten no one, for they would all know I could make it at will. But a signal that costs you something, a signal you cannot help but give, a signal that leaks out of you against your own stubborn will, that signal is worth its weight in good flint. It cannot be a lie because a liar cannot summon it on command and cannot hold it back when he needs to. So look at what your blush is actually saying to the people around you in a language far older than any word. It says, I know what just happened. I know I said the wrong thing or broke the rule or was caught, and I care. I care so much that my own body has lit itself up to show you. It says I am not shameless. I am not some cold thing that does you wrong and feels nothing at all. I am one of you. I hold the very same rules you hold, and look, here is my proof, painted across my face in a color I cannot hide and cannot fake. And methink that is the whole quiet genius of the thing. Your body found a way to prove that you are honest, by taking the proof entirely out of your own hands. Now, I promised you this was more than a pretty story by the fire, so here is the proof, from the people who study such things long after my time. There were scientists, one of them a man named Peter de Jong, working with others up in a cold northern land, who set out to test this very idea. They took people and showed them the story of someone who had done something clumsy or a little bit shameful, knocked over a whole display in a shop, let slip an ugly blunder in front of a crowd, and in some tellings of the story, the person who did it went red with a blush right afterward. In other tellings, the very same person, having done the very same thing, kept a cool and blank and untroubled face. Then they asked the watchers a simple question, "What do you make of this person?" And the answer came back clear, again and again and again. The one who blushed was judged the more likable, the more trustworthy, the easier to forgive. People wanted to think better of the one who went red than of the one who stayed cool, even though the two of them had done the exact same clumsy thing. The blush did not make people think less of the one who stumbled. It made them think more. Because the cool blank face whispers, maybe I do not care, maybe I would do it again, maybe I am not sorry in the least. And the red face says the opposite of all that, and it says it in the one voice a person cannot fake. Think on that for a moment, because it turns the whole thing upside down. The clumsy fool who lit up bright red walked away trusted more than the smooth one who kept his cool. The very thing you have spent your life trying to hide was working quietly in your favor the whole time, winning you the good opinion of the people watching. In the very moment you were most certain it was ruining you. Now carry that back to my world, because this is where it turns from a curiosity into a matter of life and death. In my world, there are no crowds of strangers you will never see again. There is your band, a few dozen souls, and you will live your whole life among them and die among them, and there is nowhere else on earth for you to go. In a world like that, being trusted is not a small nicety. It is survival itself. The one no one trusts gets the worst scraps of the meat. He gets no hand when the fever takes him. He gets left behind when the band picks up and moves on to the next valley. And the one who is trusted eats and is defended and is kept close and lives. So picture two men in my band. Picture my hunting partner, Dax, a good man, quick with a spear and even quicker with a boast, caught one evening quietly taking a larger share of the day's kill than was ever his to take. Now, if Dax's face stays cool and blank while the others turn and stare, something in them goes cold and hard toward him. He does not even care. He would do it again tomorrow. But if the blood comes rushing up Dax's neck and his ears go red and he cannot lift his eyes to meet theirs, then something in the band softens. He knows. He is ashamed. He is still one of us, still holds the very rule he just bent. Give the man another chance. That blush just bought Dax back his place at the fire. The cool face would have slowly cost him everything. Now let me be honest with you, the way I always try to be, and let me mark plainly where I am guessing and where I am not. For a start, no one can climb back into the deep past and stand there and watch the very first blush happen. What I have told you about why we carry it, that it grew in us because it made our ancestors trusted, that is the reasoning of careful people looking backward down the long line, and it is a good and a beautiful piece of reasoning, but it is reasoning all the same, and not a thing anyone dug out of the ground with their hands. Hold it as their best guess, the way I hold it, and not as carved stone, and it does not fall the same way on everyone. Some people go red at the smallest glance and cannot cross an open space without lighting up like a coal. Some barely seem to blush at all. And for a few, the dread of the blush itself grows into a heavy thing all its own, a fear of the very reddening that was only ever trying to help them along. That is real, and I will not wave it away, and it is not my place, nor yours, to make any claim about another body and what it should or should not do. I only mean to tell you what the thing was for, back at the root of us. And it is a blunt old tool, this blush, like so much of the machinery your body carries. It fires when you plainly do not want it to. It lights you up bright when you have done nothing at all wrong, when someone merely looks your way, when you are merely noticed, when a kind word is spoken, and suddenly you are ablaze for no crime but the crime of being seen. The blush cannot always tell the difference between being guilty and being watched. It just fires. It would far rather flag you 100 times you never needed than leave you cold and blank the one time being trusted saved your very life. You want to see how early this comes, how little it ever needs to be taught, then watch a small child. My own boy, Tem, no higher than my hip, was caught one afternoon with his whole hand deep in the sweet berries that Mara had set carefully aside for the whole band. He did not have the words yet to say that he was sorry. He did not truly even understand the rule that he had broken. But the moment we all turned and looked at him, his little face went as red as the very berries he had stolen, and he hid his eyes behind his two small hands. Nobody taught him to do that. I could not have taught him to do it if I had tried for a year. It rose up in him all on its own, that same helpless, honest flag, brand new and already flying high. And of course, we forgave him on the spot, every one of us. How could you not forgive a face like that? Which is, when you sit and think on it, precisely and exactly the point. So let me bring it home now, because this is the part I truly want you to keep and carry with you. The next time you are standing in front of people and you feel that awful heat come climbing up your neck, that flood of red rising in your cheeks that you would give anything to stop, I want you to do one thing. Do not curse it. Do not stand there hating it and willing it away and making it worse, because it is not betraying you. It never was. It is the oldest and the most honest thing about you, standing up to speak on your behalf when you cannot find the words. While you stand there wishing you could vanish, your red face is quietly telling every person in that room the one thing that matters most. This one cares. This one holds the rules. This one is no cold threat. This one can be trusted. The very thing you would erase from yourself, if you only could, is the thing that has been buying you back your place among your people, quietly, your whole life long, without you ever once knowing it was doing you the favor. And it goes back further than you can hold in your head. Down the whole long line, the ones who went red when they were caught were the ones the band believed and forgave and kept close and fed and defended. And the cold ones who did wrong and felt nothing and showed nothing, the ones no blush ever gave away, those were the ones slowly pushed out to the edge of the firelight and out past it into the dark, to fend for themselves in a world that eats the ones who stand alone. You are not the child of the cool ones. You are the descendant of the blushers. Every one of your true ancestors, all the way down, was someone whose face could not keep a secret and was loved and trusted the better for it. So here is what I would truly love to know, and I mean it, so tell me down in the comments. First, the easy one. What is the thing that makes you go red worse than anything else in the world? The memory that heats your face even now, years later, alone in the dark with not one soul watching. Everyone has that one memory that still burns. I want to hear yours. And then the better question, the one I am most curious about. Is there someone in your life who never seems to blush, not ever, who stays cool and smooth no matter what they are caught doing? And be honest with me now. Do you trust that person more, or do you trust them less? Tell me that too, because I have a strong suspicion about the answer, and I want to see if you feel it the same way I do. I am Og, and this whole channel is about the body you are sitting in right now, and all the old machinery still quietly running inside it, long after the world it was built for is gone. That flag in your face is one piece of it. There are 100 more, hiding in plain sight, in things you do every single day and never once think to question. So stay with me and come find the next one. Next time I want to show you why you cannot help but yawn the moment you see someone else do it, as if their tired was catching, as if some old thread still ties your body to the bodies all around you. Because no matter how new and clean and far from my fire you feel tonight, the truth is the same as it ever was. Something caught you today and the blood rushed up into your face before you could stop it, and in that bright, helpless flush you were doing the exact same thing your ancestors did 100,000 years before you were ever born. You did not choose it. They did not choose it either, and your body still remembers.